Time to get back to natural. Peace, family. I am sharing this video. It's going to be audio and just some still images that you're going to see here posted on YouTube on this Venus Cazimi 2022 that is peaking tomorrow, October 22nd, 2022 at 4:17 p.m. I wanted to do a video, I wanted to go live, but I have really been inundated with this energy, and I am literally surrounded by a series of scribbles all over various pieces of paper from downloads that have just been coming through this whole week, and logistics and astrological details and stuff that I've just been looking into. And I needed to share, I wanted to share, I always share, and this is the best way for me to do so, in particular for my queens, for my butterflies, so that we can tap all the way in to this very, very rare, incredible energy. This is a Venus Cazimi. It is when Venus is in the center of the sun. Cazimi is the Arabic word for in the heart of the sun. And that's the energy that we're feeling. It feels very passionate. It feels very warm. Again, I'm really just vibing right now and hoping that I can make sense of the scribbles on the papers around me. You may hear me ruffling papers as I try to keep track of all of this stuff. When I get into this download mode and I have some automatic writing that comes through, sometimes it's actually hard for me to read my own words, my own writing, but also because of the energies that come through in their own script. And sometimes I have to kind of decipher how they're using their script and their letters and such. So I will do my best. But again, I just really wanted to try to share this with you all so that you can tap in. I'm hoping to give you some general information as well as give you some tips, some potential rituals, ideas again that have come through, and that how I as well have been tapping in to this energy. I am recording this on Friday, Love Day, Venus Day, as Venus rules Friday and rules the number 6. And it's the eve. It is Venus Cazimi Eve. I will be doing an oracle observation as well for this energy, which will be done and posted tomorrow. So please do look out for that. But I definitely wanted you all to get this general information, again, details and downloads before that, and hopefully before the peak. So I'm trying to get this recorded and posted up before midnight, and then I will post it and share it to the queens and the butterflies personally. So Venus star point is an energy that is aligning with this Venus Cazimi. It is at 29 degrees Libra. We are going to be transitioning from Libra into Scorpio season on the 23rd. So this is very powerful cusp energy. We've got a Scorpio solar eclipse that is happening on the 25th of October. So all of that in combination is what we're feeling right now and why it is so pivotal. Beyond that, this particular Cazimi energy, the last time that we had this particular alignment was in the 1770s. And Venus does align with art and with music and with beauty and luxury and opulence. And, you know, Venus is our female planet, the only female planet, the only divine feminine planet. So naturally that brings in the Eros energy and art and music and all of those things. And when we think about the 1770s, we're thinking about Mozart. We're thinking about this golden age of creativity and inspiration that was kind of genius, you know, and prodigy in many ways. So that is what we are on the cusp of. And we're thinking about the fact that Venus is now going into its new 8-year cycle on this transition with this Cazimi and with this Venus star point. And if you look up the rose of Venus and Fibonacci, that golden medium, you know, there's so much that I can go into that would make this a really long recording. So I'm just kind of throwing things out there so that if you are resonating with it, then you can go into the details further. And these are some of the images that I'm going to be backdropping as I'm speaking on this recording, on this video that you see right now. But if you see the image that is on your screen right now with the rose of Venus and the Fibonacci. This energy is what Venus, this sacred geometry is the pattern, the rose petal star pattern that Venus does in its 8-year cycle. And it makes the shape of a 5-petal rose. And the wild rose, the ancient rose, is 5 petals. The rose that we naturally see when we get our dozens and 2 dozens of roses is not the wild rose. The wild rose is a 5-petal rose. You can look it up, wild roses. And it's incredible when you think of this as above, so below energy. And the fact that that is literally the shape that Venus's cycle, as it dances with the sun, makes in an 8-year cycle. It's incredible. So look that up. It's going to totally blow you away when you see how it actually does its dance. If I'm able to pull a video to be able to use it and throw it up here, then you would have seen that. If not, you're probably just seeing the still. But look it up. If you just YouTube it, you'll be able to see what that dance looks like and the pattern that it creates. And this golden mean is 1.6 that taps in as well to Fibonacci. So look that up as well. And that is, again, what is so pivotal about this time. That is the new cycle that is being created, that we were about to walk into as we leave Libra season and going into Scorpio season with this Venus Cazimi and this Venus star point. This is about peace and harmony and love. This is an energy where things that have been very kind of harsh and hard and hardened are getting a little bit kind of mellowed out with this divine feminine energy coming through. It's a superior conjunction that is happening right now. And there's an energy that basically gives us the alignment with Age of Aquarius. We've been talking about the Age of Aquarius. We've been feeling that. It is here. And in more ways than one, we are starting to see that and feel that. Tapping into Scorpio energy with this cusp is Venus and the sun moving into that energy. And it's about transformation. It's about new phases and the various phases of Scorpio, being the scorpion, the eagle, and the phoenix. That brings in the fire energy that is very much in alignment with this Venus in the heart of the sun. Venus is being singed in essence by the heat of the sun. So it is bringing us an energy of burning things away, purifying things with fire that no longer serve, that death and rebirth energy that Scorpio brings for us. And I would suggest as well, this is a good time to do some fire rituals, like writing letters to the dynamics that you want to release, things that you want to forgive, people that you want to forgive. Write things out, whatever it is that you never got to say, write it out and then burn it. Use your bay leaf, and we're going into our new moon energy. So our bay leaf burn for new moon is about calling in energy. So after you release, after you write that letter, you script whatever you need to release and you burn, then you take your bay leaf, a dried bay leaf, and you write all the things that you want to call in, particularly in terms of the relationships and the dynamics and the ways that you want those relationships to be healthy and happy and harmonious. And you write those key words on that bay leaf. Then you burn that bay leaf and scatter them out. Same thing with your letter. You scatter it out to Mother Nature. That neutralizes the energy, brings it back to Mother Earth, and giving thanks for the new seeds, in essence, that are going to be coming to fruition from this new beginning, this new cycle that is beginning here for us. It's a time to think about how you've used and connected with love, with sex, how others have used love and sex in terms of your dynamics, because we have an opportunity, again, to break patterns and to start something completely new, but we're not really able to figure out what it is that needs to be changed until we really, again, face it, to replace it and feel it, to heal it, to really look inward and figure out what is it that I don't want to repeat? What is it that I myself did, let alone what I allowed to be done to me? How do I take my power back? Because in essence, we never lose our power, we give it away. And this is an amazing and opportune time for us to decide to take that back. When we think about Venus in Capricorn during retrograde was in January. And for those of us that did the self-love commitment during that Venus retrograde, those last 6 days of the Venus retrograde, in hindsight, I realize now why Spirit basically directed me to facilitate that self-love commitment. I had no idea about the Venus Cazimi when we decided to do that self-love commitment back in January. And now doing the research and going further into the details and getting these downloads, when Venus is in Capricorn, it's a time to remove what was toxic in a relationship. It's a time, it was literally the ending of this cycle that is now going into the new 8-year cycle. So when we did that self-love commitment, we didn't realize just how powerful it was for us to do that at that time. And whether you were on board with us during that time and did the commitment with us, just think about for yourself. Where were you in January during that Venus retrograde when Venus was in Capricorn? What was your love situation like? What was your self-love status at that time? And how is it different now? And even if it wasn't ideal, and especially if it wasn't ideal then, it's even more reason for you to realize how you have the opportunity to do different, to experience different, to call in different, and to wash away, to completely dissolve what it is that you don't want to carry into this new cycle, particularly in terms of your relationship with yourself, your relationship with Source, and relationship with others. So tapping into this energy of a new cycle, we think about Scorpio season that is on the way. Death and rebirth. What is it that you want to kill, in essence? What do you want to say to yourself, and particularly for yourself, so that that's an energy that emits outward? What is no longer acceptable? Understanding and knowing your worth now. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday. You process what happened yesterday so that you can do different today, because the only way you're going to have a different tomorrow is by doing different today. But you need to know the contrast between what that is by knowing what it was yesterday, to not repeat that. So it's a time to really focus on high vibrations, because with the Scorpio energy that is very mysterious, that is very transformative in that way, that, you know, kind of has that dark night of the soul energy to it, the shadow work that's necessary. We can get really stuck in many ways in low vibrations. And it's a time that is the spells that we can end up casting during this time, with how powerful this change of a cycle is. You don't want to go into this new cycle with these low vibrational energies. So it's a time to really try to condition and recondition your subconscious mind to say, we're not doing it the way that we've been doing it the past 8 years. We're not doing it the way we've been doing it yesterday. This is a new opportunity, a new jumping off point to do things different, to let love lead and create that new cycle. Taking time with yourself, being gentle with yourself, being more discerning. Let people earn your love, know your worth, and be grateful for the lessons and the blessings that bring on the healing of the traumas and the dramas. That's what allows you to release it. The forgiveness is so important. And it's not easy, there's no doubt about it, but that mantra that I always say, that I was able to receive from alignment with Ascended Master Hilarion, is, may my soul be forgiven for all that it has done, and I forgive all that has been done to my soul, is such a powerful thing to say. And anything that we can say, again, with sticking with the high vibes, is important to say even if we don't believe it yet, because there's so many lies that we tell ourselves that we choose to believe. So why wouldn't we choose a lie that we may think is a lie when it's high vibes, when it's positive? Say it until we believe it, because we're much better off telling ourselves something good that we may not believe yet than telling ourselves something bad that's a lie. Because we were made to be in peace and harmony and perfection. And it is the mind and the ego and our circumstances and all of the power that we relinquish to other people that we allow to disturb that peace, that we allow to trigger us. And I always say, people can pull a trigger all they want, but when you stay high vibes, you be dodging them bullets. You're wearing your bulletproof vest. You don't have to worry about people pulling triggers on you. You will be unaffected. It is about getting to a neutral point at the very least. And then there's only up from there. This is that cusp time. That is this neutral. That is ironically this energy of 0 degrees in many ways, of starting a completely new cycle. with this happening, 29 degrees, it's switching over to the zeros, to the ones, to a completely new start, to a new cycle. So it's powerful. It's powerful. Fresh ideas coming through, creativity. Again, this new moon eclipse is going to be very powerful, but we have to be really mindful and soulful of how we align with it, because again, it is in Scorpio, and we can stick in the dark. We can be in the dark. When we're afraid of the dark, however, is where we can bring in negative vibrations and negative manifestations. But choosing to not be afraid of the dark and understanding that it's in the dark that change happens, that it's in the dark that the caterpillar becomes a butterfly, it helps us stay in the high vibrations. So don't be afraid of the dark and align with the transformation that comes from that. Again, take your power back. Major shifts happening. Ways to tap into this energy. Just get some roses in your space. Roses have the highest vibrational energy on the planet in terms of plant life, in terms of flora. And even with the rose, and there's so many things. We just talked about the rose of Venus, the alignment in that, no accident. But even with the rose, when we say like all you need to do is bloom, the rose just has to bloom and the bees come to the rose to pollinate. The rose doesn't have to go after the bees. So just focus on blooming. But understand that blooming doesn't always mean that it's always going to be beautiful and comfortable all the time, because change often happens outside of our comfort zone. And even the most gorgeous rose has thorns that can prick and make you bleed, but you will heal, especially if you go through that prick. Remove that thorn with grace and with gratitude, and understanding that I'm going to be a little bit more careful the next time I handle that rose. That teaches us and reminds us to be as gentle with the rose as we should be with ourselves. There's always a lesson to things, always. When you think about music, creativity, self-love, this is the time to really tap in. You know, I'm so honored to be able to have this serenade tomorrow for this Cazimi, and to be able to be aligning with my creativity, with my craft, with my gift, and aligning exactly the way you should be aligning, with art and with beauty and with music and with love. And I'll be singing all love songs and singing to my beloved wherever he may be. So tap into that energy. If you're calling in love, this is the time to do it. This is the time to do it. If you know and believe that you're on the twin flame journey, this is the time to say, all right, I'm ready. Come through. If you're trying to get your soulmate, this is the time to connect, to commune, to communicate. Tap in with me if you're around. I'll be streaming live. Sabrina Sahara shares at 4:00, and then the last 2 sets, Red Sahara music. Listen, sing along, vibe. I will be serenading love itself. I will be serenading you. I will be serenading you and your love and me and my love, and just bringing that union, because if there's anything that I'm feeling more than anything, and that I've been getting the transmission of, this 22 energy is about divine union, is about twin flame union, is about soulmate union. The number 2 is about partnerships. You double that up and it brings in the number 4, and it's about stable partnerships. So we've got 10, which is about a new cycle. The number 10 represents a new cycle, and that's exactly this energy that we have here. 22. It's like you can't make it up. It's so powerful. And then this 8-year cycle that Venus is doing to create this new cycle is the number of abundance. And Venus rules not just love, not just beauty, not just music, not just art, but our money, our finances. So tap in to that. This is a time to manifest self-love and healthy relationships, infinite abundance, inspired creativity, uninhibited pleasure, collective consciousness. And with that uninhibited pleasure, whether you're in a relationship or not, tap into your own body. Love on yourself. Orgasmic manifestation is so powerful and increases our potential for things that we want to come into form and experience. So take that time to love on you, to know your body. We, especially as divine feminines, were created for pleasure. We have a part of our anatomy that is just for pleasure. Don't let it go to waste. Love on you. Let love lead in more ways than one. Take rests, take naps, dance. And a download that I got in regards to purposeful communication. Something that it really triggered me in many ways, because I realized that a lot of us do this. And in the digital age, and when we think about just the way of the world right now, it's something that we've just kind of gotten used to. It's just become so normative. So when I got this download, I was like, wow, that's real shit. And I'm definitely going to pay closer attention to that for myself, first and foremost, but in regards to who communicates with me, especially personally. You know, we're on Instagram and we're liking this and we're liking that and we're throwing up emojis. And I'm the first person to say, like, emojis are life. I love me some emojis. But the download that came through in regards to purposeful communication is that when you are connecting with someone one-on-one, personally, that would be text, direct message, for example. When we respond with just emojis, it's kind of like when our parents used to tell us, use your words. We're in a time now where we choose to not even use our words, that an emoji will suffice. And when I thought about it after that download came through, I was like, you know what? That is so real. Like, to choose to not even just say thank you, to type thank you, it's part of the lack of attention span that we have. And then we worry about the children, right? But look at what we do. Now we're just like throwing up hearts. Now we're just, look at in messages now, just in our iPhones and stuff, we can not even respond, got it, sure, cool, no prob, NP even, right? Like, there's all the abbreviations. We're not even doing that anymore. Now it's just thumbs up. And it's like, So I kind of get it. You know, it's all of this stuff is creating more separation. And there is not any real communication, definitely not purposeful communication when we do that. So I know that I'm going to be a lot more mindful and soulful about how I choose to communicate in direct messages with people. You know, if it's people that, again, I'm texting, I'm DMing, or I'm in a group chat with, or whatever the case is, not just social media. If it's direct, one-on-one or one to a group and stuff, I'm going to really try harder to use my words. So I share that with you all because I think it matters. I think it matters. And I think that we're, on a slippery slope, especially with the speed of technology and how much easier these technological giants are making it for us to not use our words, for us to not really communicate purposefully. And it's just always so fleeting, like as if we don't even have time to write NP, no prob, thanks, anything. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it matters. It matters. So I share that with you all. It's about being impeccable with your word. So if you're choosing to be impeccable with your word, but now we're not even using words, it's like, where is that then? Where is the space for being mindful with the words that we choose? And words matter. Words matter. And when we start to remove words altogether, then it kind of makes, in my opinion, it kind of could give the impression that that person doesn't matter. They're not worth even the words. They're not worth a word. I'm just gonna throw an emoji up because I don't have time to give you a whole 3 or 4 letters right now. Something to think about. Definitely came through, and I've been thinking about it, and I'm gonna pay much closer attention to it for myself. It's about kindness, and again, when we want to make people feel like they matter and they're worth something, it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much. And those are little things that were already little things that we're now even choosing to not make the time for. So I think we have to be really, really careful in regards to that. And if we're going into a new cycle, then again, these are the things that we want to pay attention to and say, how can I do more? How can I love me more than I did yesterday or this previous cycle? And how can I love others more than I did yesterday and this previous cycle? So think about that, and think about this collective consciousness. Think about the age of Aquarius and what that really means, for you. What does that look like for you? I also have a prayer that I'm going to be sharing at the end of this video. So I will read it right before I conclude. And I did want to share a few little facts about Venus, just because I think it's really, really cool. As I mentioned, the only female planet, so that's divine feminine energy all the way. Venus is known as Earth's twin sister. for various reasons. And it is the brightest and hottest planet, despite it not being the closest to the sun. So that says a lot again about the power and the potency and the passion that is behind the divine feminine energy. And it is so hot that it has volcanoes and lava. So that is like powerful energy to tap into. And this is why this connection with our divine feminine in terms of pleasure, in terms of self-pleasure, in terms of orgasmic manifestation is really powerful at this time, because we're literally tapping into what makes us woman, for those of us that are listening that are women. But again, even for the gentlemen, you have divine feminine energy as well. And this is part of the cycle shift that's happening. And you're actually going to have a better chance of making it in this new cycle the more tapped in you are to your divine feminine. That's just real. That's just real. So heads up. It's the only planet that rotates clockwise. Very cool. That's like something that was totally new to me. The fact that every other planet, it's constantly basically in a retrograde motion. And that in itself really sets Venus apart in so many ways. So when you tap into that energy of how do I set myself apart, or at the very least, how am I going to set myself apart differently than I was in the previous 8 years in the past cycle? That's just for yourself. What am I going to do different? How am I going to stand out, set myself apart? Especially in regards to love and art and beauty and your finances and money, and just doing things differently so that you can be different. If we do the same stuff, we're going to get the same stuff. And if we do the same stuff that everybody else does, we're going to have the same stuff that everybody has. So we want to individualize. We want to set ourselves apart, especially because we want to benefit ourselves so that we have more to share with the community and to build the global collective consciousness. Venus rules Taurus and Libra, rules the number 6, and rules Friday. So I definitely, again, wanted to tap into this energy as I have on this Venus Cazimi Eve, as it is on a Friday. Very, very powerful energy for us. So I hope you are feeling it. I really, really hope you're feeling it. I am going to be sharing more. Again, I hope that you tap in and connect for tomorrow's serenade. If you're able to be there in person, we're going to be at Hard Rock Hotel NYC, 159 West 48th Street. And if not, we'll be streaming live wherever you are in the world. You should totally tap in and sing along and hang with us. I also wanted to share that it's a time to journal, and keep your journal under your pillows. Record your dreams, any of these ideas as you're building, the things that you're scripting, what it is that you want to manifest. Write it all down. Scripting is so powerful. And I would also suggest that although we're conditioned and it's kind of normative for us to journal what happens, and we're obviously always observing, there are not always good things that happen. So you want to be a little bit more mindful and soulful in regards to what it is that you choose to record, what it is that you choose to journal. Because if we're asking for this new cycle and we're asking for things to fall away from us that no longer serve, why would we write those things down to then be able to remember them if we happen to forget? Because it was taken from us because it didn't serve. So that's something that came to me many years ago. I used to journal everything, good, bad, and ugly. This is what happened today. Until I got that download and I was like, you know what? That makes total sense. Why would I write something down that I may forget, but now I can't forget? Because if I scroll back, if I go back to that journal, if I pick it up 5 years from now, there comes all of those negative emotions coming flooding back, just because I chose to write it down. I chose to immortalize this trauma. If we're trying to heal, if we're trying to discard, if we're trying to move on, if we're trying to declutter, detoxify, purify, fortify, then just don't put that stuff down. Don't record that stuff. If you're meant to remember it, you will. If you're keeping a journal for your memoirs, you can decide if you want to share the good, the bad, and the ugly. But if it's something that you would not have remembered naturally, then it wasn't supposed to be a part of your story. So let it happen naturally, back to natural. Don't record what you may not want to remember. A story that you don't want to have to retell, a drum that you want to keep beating, that's going to keep you stuck in a rut and in that low vibrational emotion. Emotions are where we manifest from. Our hearts are where we manifest from. Those feelings turn into emotions, they emote, and that is what comes into form and experience. So if we're inundating ourselves with the hard stuff, with the sad stuff, with the battered stuff, then how do we expect to manifest the opposite? It's just not the math. It's not the law of the universe. And again, as above, so below. That's what we're learning right now more than anything, that is absolutely real. So let's be responsible with our power, especially as we're now taking our power back, going into this new cycle. Like I said, get some roses in your house, take your rose petal baths, powerful ritual to release rose petals. Just take a few rose petals, take 3 roses or so. Always give thanks to the rose when you're taking its petals off. And then go outside and just scatter the rose petals on some soil, on some grass, on some trees. And it's symbolic. Just like we think about the leaves right now falling away, changing color, right? First to change, a new cycle, a new season, changing color for it to fall away. We have to think about what it is that we want to fall away from us, to not come into this new cycle with us. So you release the rose petals for that same alignment. Take some other rose petals, take a powerful bath by putting your rose petals in there, put some salt in there, put some honey in there. If you do crystal elixirs, put some of that in there. If you have any rainwater, put some rainwater in there and just soak and let that energy just completely coat you, and speak any affirmations and any declarations and whatever it is that you want to command for your life, for your relationships going into this new cycle. And when you're done that bath, you take those rose petals that were in there with you and you release them as well. So that, I think, is all that I was going to share. Perhaps more, because I am definitely in channeling mode. And I've actually never done this kind of off the cuff like this. And I'm grateful. You know, it was the timing too. And I'm just there's a lot, but I just really wanted you all to get this, to be able to tap into this energy. I don't know if I mentioned shadow work and mirror work, but clear that stuff out. Karmic release, heal the heart. It's the best way to do that. And remembering that shadow work is sometimes pulling up all of the so that you can face it to replace it. And mirror work is bringing in some of your accolades and reminding yourself of what you did conquer, what it is that you did accomplish, what you did do right. Because we just, again, so often focus on the things that are heavy. And there is so much light. And as light workers, clearing that stuff out should be light work, so that we can fully fulfill our purpose and remember why our soul chose to be here during this very, very pivotal, powerful time. Once in a lifetime. Like, this is something that we are here right now experiencing that we could not have experienced before. And we will not be here the next time. So make it count. I will share and do a live the day after the solar eclipse. So 10/26, I will be live on IG. And then our lunar eclipse in Taurus. I'm so excited because I'm a Taurus sun, which is a whole other thing. So definitely tune in. That will be November 8th. I think I will go live on November 8th. It's the 7th, 8th for that lunar eclipse in Taurus, but I think I'll go live on the 8th. I'll keep you posted. Follow me, Sabrina Sahara Shares, on Instagram, Back to Natural on Instagram. And I will leave you with the channeled, downloaded prayer that came through that I will put up on this video for you as well. And you can take a screenshot and feel free to speak it, especially if you take that bath. You can say it while you're in that bath. You can say it right now, as often, whenever you want. And just tapping into this, again, very powerful time of combining masculine energy and feminine energy with Lady Venus and Lord Ra. We've got Lady Venus, divine feminine energy, and Ra, the life force, masculine energy. Powerful. That conjunction, that coming together, is about our rebalancing. Again, Libra being the scales of balance, the scales of justice, karma being restored. This is what's happening right now. And there's a lot of mess going on in the world right now, but I can assure you this tower came down for a reason, and it is now time to rebuild, and we are rebuilding with love and light. Ashe. So I leave you with this. Lady Venus, Lord Ra, as you unite your divine energies, I give thanks as you bless me with unions that only serve my highest good and release dynamics that no longer are in alignment with my ascension. Thank you for enhancing my practice of self-love, heart healing, and harmonious relationships. I am grateful for the balance of my divine feminine and divine masculine energies so I can fulfill my soul's purpose. I give myself permission to receive all of the above and more now. Ashe, Amen Ra, it is done. I'm sending you all love, self-love, twin flame love, soulmate love, soul tribe love, transition tribe love, giving thanks to the ancestors, giving thanks to the Creator, giving thanks to the ascended masters, to the prophets, to the sages, starseed sibyls, to the Orisha, to the Neteru, to all of the forces of nature, to the guides and guardians, gods and goddesses, ancient kings and queens, and divine deities of all traditions in light and love that serve humanity for the highest good of all. This is their work. They are doing the as above, we must do the so below. That is what's up right now. Stay tuned for tomorrow's reading. I will post after I do that for Venus Cazimi energies. We'll see what comes through in alignment with all that has been channeled and shared here. And I thank you for listening, for tapping in. Wow, 36 minutes. I did not expect that. I just looked down at this for the first time. I love y'all. I do. I truly do. Love you. Love you. And when you sneeze, say bless me. And when you sneeze, say I am blessed. Ashe, because you are. Say I am blessed. Bless me. I am blessed. I leave you with that because you are blessed and I want you to know it. And just stay tapped in to love and to beauty and to bringing in infinite abundance of all kinds. It is time for all of that to come through in a fast and fabulous way. So claim it and enjoy it. I love you. Unless we forget, time to get back to natural. Peace.